In this tutorial, we're going to use Canva in order to create some social media visuals for PSAs. So Canva is a free graphics editing software that's available online. It's also available on some of your mobile devices. I'm going to go ahead and access it today from the desktop platform. You will need to go ahead and log in or sign in. You can do this with Google or Facebook, or you might have to go ahead and set up an account. I'm going to go ahead and log in with my Google account. And once I log in, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, there's a lot of different choices here. So when you come in, you've got a lot of different types of templates. You've got different types of features depending on what you want to make. Some things are paid. So you really want to pay attention to these elements that are free. If they've got that little crown by it, means you need to pay for it. So let's go ahead and look at our templates. We know we're going to go ahead and we can either pop down to what we want, or we can go ahead and use the search bar over here. So I'm going to do a Facebook post. And it's going to pop up a whole bunch of different options available. So when I look through, you'll notice in the bottom right hand corner, it'll say free, or it will have a little thing that says paid. We're trying to avoid the one that says paid because at this point we do not want to have to deal with that. So we're going to go ahead. I found a cool statistic from the American Academy of Sleep Science. So I'm going to do my PSAs on the importance of sleep. So I can kind of think about, okay, I'm going to do one on college students who pull all-nighters are more likely to have a lower GPA. So that just kind of helps me. And this one would really work well for that type of quote. So I'm going to go ahead and choose it. So when you get in, you're going to go ahead and choose it. You can go ahead and change the name of it. So I'm going to call it Social PSA 2, or maybe I want to call it GPA. Depends on what you want to call it. It will automatically save for you. If you decide maybe you don't like this image, you want a different image, you can always go in and choose a different one. So they've got all different types of photos here. Once again, watch for the things that say free. I could go here and do GPA, see what comes up. And I'm getting quite a few that are paid. So if you want to get one that is not paid, you could go ahead and go to another type of site and upload your own. So let's go ahead and I'm going to come here to Pixabay, which is a photo site, and I'm going to look up GPA on here. And it couldn't find any matches. So let's go ahead and try school. So I've got a lot of different types of choices here. Maybe I want to do school and sleep. So not any I truly love. So let's go back to just school. So I'll go ahead and show you how to download one of these. So let's go ahead and say I'm going to choose just this Blackboard. So I've got the Blackboard. I can do the free download. Because we're making just small items, you can just choose one of the small ones and go ahead and hit download. It might tell you that you need to be a registered user, or you might have to do some other type of proof. So I'm going to do download. And it's going to say, where do you want to download it? So I'm going to go ahead and pay attention. I'm going to put mine on my desktop and say save. I'm going to go back here into my Canva. I'm going to go to upload media. And I'm going to go to upload from my device. And I'm going to grab that Blackboard and say open. So now I've got that Blackboard in here. So there are ways to get around not being able to get the images that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and take that Blackboard and kind of put it in between over that circle. So I'm going to kind of stretch it a little bit. And then I'm going to take the position and I want to send it, click on it, I want to send it backward. So I want to send it even backwards some more. So instead what I might do, because I want this to prop up even more, I'm going to grab this circle and I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And we should be able to do the position bring forward. But does it want to give it to us? All right, I see how they did it. They did it as a cutout, not as a other. Okay, that's fine. So what we're going to do is take this and shrink it down a little bit. If you hold the Shift key, you can get slightly better responses. So let's go ahead. And I'm going to go ahead and make this What can I do with it? What can I do with the plus? Nope, I just add another page. Don't want to do that. Garbage. All right, so I can duplicate the page. I can add notes. So I'm not loving that chalkboard. I'm going to go ahead and take that chalkboard out. And I can just hit undo, Control Z quite a few times to put it back to where it was. So I just wanted to see how easy it is for you to add something. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe I don't love the way this text is already laid out. If you go over to the left-hand side, you can go to text, and you can see there's quite a few already created font combinations. Once again, watch to make sure what is free versus what is not. So maybe I like this one instead. But it's going to pop it in on top, so I'm going to go ahead and delete the other one. And I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and grab my instructions here. Copy. And go ahead over here to my, and I'm going to go ahead and make that my kind of my subtext. And do all-nighters don't work. I can spell it right too. And then I'm going to say, have a lower GPA. I'm going to say, according to the, who is this? American Academy of Sleep Medicine. All right, now I've got that in there. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab this box. I don't love the way it looks right now. So go ahead and move it kind of around a little bit. And maybe I do want to go ahead this time and center it. So I'm going to come up here to the top and do my alignment, change that to centered. And let's go ahead, maybe I want this to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to hit my plus here. And see how now I want to go ahead and make sure that's centered as well. Maybe I don't like the black. Maybe I want to do a different color. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that, come up here to my colors. And let's go ahead and maybe I'm try that navy blue, or let's try the purple. All right, all-nighters don't work. College students who pull an all-nighter, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and make this section a little bit bigger. So let's bump up that font a little bit. Okay, that's not too bad. Now I can go ahead and move that down. So because we are doing a persuasion ad, we want to make sure that we go ahead and are using some type of factual information. So now I need to go ahead and put my credit in. So I'm going to go ahead and my text here. And I'm going to go to the very top. I'm going to add just a little bit of body text. And I'm going to say, grab this out of the way. So it turns into crosshairs. You should be able to move it. And clearly I need it to be a color you can see, because right now it is black on black and we need it to be colorful, something you can see. So I'll make it kind of gray. I'm going to say photo is from Canva. And I'm going to say source. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the web address on where I got the information. I'm going to click that in there. And clearly it's way, way, way too big right now. So I'm going to go ahead and double click it. I'm going to left align, and let's bring that down to like, definitely so it's on one line. I'm going to take it to like 20 or 18. 18 works. All right, so then I can go ahead and reposition that. All right, and so maybe I want to add one other element. Maybe I want to add something like a pillow or something like that. So let's go ahead and move this down. I'm going to go ahead over here to my elements, and let's look for a moon. All right, so this one's paid. There's a cool free one, but it doesn't quite work with what I've got going on. Pretty funky stuff going on. Let's try that one. All right, so I'm gonna grab that all-nighters don't work, and maybe I want to tip it a little bit. So I'm gonna come down here to one of the lower corners, and I can bring it in. I should be able to rotate it. It doesn't want to rotate. Huh. Usually you can rotate by grabbing one of these corners. All right, let's just make it small then. And you can see it's giving you those automatic aligns, so you can make sure you get things perfectly in the middle. So maybe you decide, hey, I don't like how dark this image is. Maybe I want to make it even smaller. You can use the transparency here and drop that transparency back a little bit. So you're really paying attention to what the important part is. I'm going to go ahead and make sure this position is pulled to the front. Oh, it says it is, so we don't lose it. So when you're totally happy with it, that looks really kind of off center still. There we go. It was. So it's perfect. That's the way I want it. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my download. It's going to say, what do you want to download? I'm going to go ahead and download. You can do a PNG. You can do a JPEG. PNGs are great because they preserve transparency. JPEGs also work pretty well for you. You're going to be putting it into your social media. So either PNG or JPEG will work fine, and you're going to put it into your PowerPoint. So I'm going to go ahead and say put it as a PNG and tell it to download. It's going to say, what do you want? And no, you do not need to upgrade or do anything. Make sure you're paying attention to where you put it, and go ahead and save it. And that is how you create a very basic PSA in Canva. It should be relatively simple. You want 3 that are on the same idea, but not necessarily, don't have to be exactly the same. They do need to kind of look like a family of PSAs when you're done. And make sure you download and save to your PowerPoint. For the extra credit, don't forget to import it into your actual social media and see how they do. That's all for this one.